Welcome back to Generation Y. Before the break, we were discussing money and legal and illegal ways of how youth nowadays make money. And also parents, they have a responsibility of saving up our money. But also teachers, is there a lack of teaching in schools that youth want to know more about money? Before the break, Osama was talking about, getting a job and making money. And obviously that's a teenager's first step towards financial independence and prepares them for the future. For example, going to uni, buying themselves a car, marriage. But what would you say, how should they save up for that money? How should they save up for buying that expensive car that they got in their mind? Uni budgets, obviously when you go to uni, you spend a lot of money if you're staying away from home. What do you think about this, Dawood?
I think that a lot of people they have different techniques of saving money. Some people, when they get their wage, they put it straight into the bank account, do not touch any of it. Other people like to take a portion out of it, say just some of it they take out of it, and they use that on themselves, and they put most of it on on hold or in their bank account, so that that money can't be touched, that money can't be accessed. And a lot of people use a savings account. A savings account really good. It helps a lot of people because a savings account, usually you can't touch that money because it's in a savings account. You can't always keep withdrawing money out of it. It's not like a debit card or so that you can keep cashing out money. It's that money saved, it's in a separate account, it's completely off the line, and you can't go eating into that money. And people for uni, it is really hard because they are under budget, and that's where accommodation needs to come into consideration, the food and the amount of times they go out, because when people are in university, they like to go out quite a bit.
Well, it's not also, I would say, clothes as well, fashion. Like it's just a normal pair of jeans from a standard shop costs around £50 as well. Also that links in with obviously your uni fees as well. Obviously you have to buy books for unis and then you want clothes at the same time. What would you say about that?
You got to take into consideration that your uni fees are going to be a lot. Your books, like now in studying medicine, it's a pricey thing. It's going to cost a lot of money. So you got to take into consideration about what the books are going to be. The books are going to be expensive at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And it's like now when Dow mentioned about the cars, like when you mentioned about the cars, sorry, not Dow. It's like now you got to think about it. Say you buy a Lambo, it's going to be really expensive. Even a Bentley, let's say a Bentley, you get a Bentley for what, you get some for £500,000, for example. Some really expensive kitted up ones. You got to remember that buying an expensive car, there's expensive things linked to it. What I mean by that is your car insurance will be sky high, and you say you're young, it's going to be a rocket anyway. When you got to take in all these things into consideration, just think about it. Even with tyres, you can have one tyre, it's going to be like £1,000 probably. I don't know exactly, but I'm just making up. But it'll be something like that, it'll be something stupid. So you got to take in consideration that it's going to be expensive. Your road tax will cost a lot, your car insurance will cost a lot, it's all going to be pricey. So you can't just go in there thinking, I've saved up £500,000 for this car. That's not it, mate. You got a lot more to come with it.
Yeah, and a lot of youth, they kind of forget that they think that the car is the only thing that they're buying. Like you could buy a Audi or whatever, or even like you said, a Bentley, and it costs so much money. It genuinely does. It costs so much money, and they think that that's as far as it goes. I'm going to get in the car, I'm going to go drive, but that's not it. You have to take into consideration driving lessons. They cost about, depending on where you go, at least £20 per lesson, and that's a lot of money to be spending on one lesson. And usually people take, on average, usually like 20 to 30 lessons. Like that's even if you're a quick learner, it takes 20 to 30 lessons. And if you do the math, that's a good £400, and that's a lot of money that you could have saved in that, for a car or for insurance. And insurance nowadays is quite a lot of money compared to the car even. Sometimes people buy, a car, say for £2,000, but in reality, their insurance is usually even £4,000 or £5,000 just for that car.
Yeah, Bilal, what do you say, obviously, say if you wanted to go to uni, if you wanted to buy yourself a big, expensive car, what do you say, long-term goals would you set for yourself?
Well, it really it depends on you, what you want to do, what course you're studying, or if you're studying a really high degree like medicine or engineering, then you're going to be earning over 50k a year, so then you're going to be looking at the more expensive cars, the Porsches, etc. But you need to make sure you know where you come from. Like if you come from a background that's not as wealthy, then you need to make sure that you stay disciplined and not spend as much money. And I think that it comes into it where if you know how hard it is to earn money, like if you've worked in your life, you won't spend as much as quick. However, if you've never worked and you've always been given everything, then you will value the money as much and you'll spend it a lot quicker.
Yeah, do you think that you should develop a good saving habit as well? For example, ways of saving, maybe have a pot in your room and put like, aim for like £20 in there a week. How do you think about that?
I think that's a really that's something that parents usually do at a young age to introduce the saving money scheme. They usually do that to discipline the child, to say, some parents get them tins or like saving boxes that you can't even open unless you open it with like a knife or something like that, because they don't want they want that child to learn that whatever you're putting in there you shouldn't take out. So that's where some parents are really good and they do teach that to their kids, but sometimes parents kind of forget that their kids do need to learn how to save, because later on, like Bilal said, if that kid doesn't know how to save, that money's going straight down the drain, and because you're not going to value that money, you're not going to value anything that you've bought, because you're assuming that it's going to come on a silver platter.
But do you think it's still good for having like a saving pot for the youth nowadays as well? For example, I heard about someone who used to smoke a lot, but then obviously he stopped, and all the money that he used to spend on cigarettes every week, he used to put in a pot in his room, and that pot, all the money in the pot, he got a trip to Pakistan.
Yeah.
So what would you say? Do you think that it could help us today?
You know what? That is really, for that kid or whoever's done it, that is really good, because they've given up something and they're making something good out of it. Like they're actually changing their ways and they're making something good come out of something bad. And it just goes to show that they lost a lot of their health by smoking and stuff like that, but they've saved a lot of money, and you realize how much money you spend on that type of stuff until you stop. And when you stop and you kind of put that money onto one side, you realize that that kid saved a trip to Pakistan. Like that's a lot of money. Like tickets nowadays cost £600-700. So can you imagine how much that kid must have been smoking and stuff like that? Like he must have really cut down, and he must have really stopped to save that type of money.
Yeah, true. Obviously, if we all younger siblings, brothers, sisters, nephew, nieces, cousins, and obviously if you're, say, the eldest in the family, you're the first person to get a job, earn money, obviously you can be a role model for them younger kids as well. So what advice would you give like younger children nowadays about saving money, about making money, and how to, make sure that when you come to like 16, 17 years old, you do have, that pocket money a week so you can spend it on going out with friends?
Personally, I'm not much of a good saver, but I do try to save here and there when I'm working and stuff like that. I think it is important. I think it's important because you can buy something. Like now you can't say you've got something for £300, you're on a wage of £20 an hour, £20 a day, for example. You're not going to be able to buy an expensive designer tracksuit, for example. You're going to get one, or a suit which is going to cost £200-300. So you've got to save, and that you save to build. So you save that. It's like now some people, they save to buy a house, stuff like that. Like now you've got to put deposit down. That's for like 10% of your house, for example. Some people, or a certain percentage of your house. You can't just pull out that money of nowhere. You've got to save up for that money to put it down. And I think it's a good thing to instill in kids, for example, to instill that they should save from a young age. But then again, you need to teach the boundary of saving, because you get some people that are really stingy, and to yourself, I think to myself sometimes, what you can do with that money, you take it to your grave. What you going to do with that money?
Yeah,
the money's going to be, you're not taking it to your grave.
You're not.
So it's either you spend it, make benefit, and say like now for the elderly, for example, although they're a lot older and wiser, but like now, if they've got money, my personal advice, for example, say I had a person who's older than me, and they're near to that stage where they're thinking, oh, I need to give, and they've got loads of money, give it to someone, invest, make some use of it. Don't just leave it there and wait till where it comes to the last minute come and you think, what do I do with the money? Make sure it's planned out. Give it to your kids.
Yeah,
Spend
definitely.
because at the end of the day, see your kids in need of money and you've got loads of money and they're not need some help. Support them. Even if it means that you want them to pay you back, that's fine. Fair dues is equal, but help them with that.
Yeah.
There's no point having just money sat in your bank account doing nothing. Make some use of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's. But I think that our generation won't think like that. In the sense that they won't be stingy, they will think, okay, you have to have some level of stinginess to think, oh yeah, I've got to be careful. And now you see, say you've got £200 in your bank account, you see, oh, that's a nice designer bag, I'll get it for my wife. Oh, why not? Oh, my mum or sister, £500, oh, I need so much more money, I need some more money. You think, okay, I'll get a cheaper bag, or I'll save up for it to get to that bag, because there's no point going to extreme needs to borrow this and that. Just stick to what you can afford. Like I say to people, I say to myself for the start, don't go looking for something that you know you can't afford. Live your life.
Live in your means.
Yeah, live within your means. There's no point trying to live a millionaire's life when you're on a standard wage.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, that's another aspect of money. Some people, when they get too much money, they can get, be really stingy with their money, show off with it. And obviously, it's not good to show off with your money. If you've got money, then you should be open-hearted. Use it wisely. Yeah, definitely. Bilal, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, you're saying teaching the younger generation on money. I think when you're really young, like under the age of 8, I don't think it matters too much because you don't really understand the value of money and how important it is. You realise that you want a big TV or you want just nice things, nice clothes, but you don't understand that. But you know that they come from money, but you don't understand how hard it is to earn that money. But after that age, I think it's really important that the kid realises that my dad makes this much an hour, or my parents make this much an hour.
They work hard for it.
Yeah, and they work hard for it, and that's how I can't spend too much.
Definitely. Obviously, learning from parents, as we said before, is obviously a big thing. We learn everything from our parents, and especially money. If you don't learn money from your parents, where else are you going to learn it from? Obviously, there's different ways of saving. Like we say, we talk about having a saving pot in your bedroom. Planners as well are researching, and like a lot of people, youth nowadays, they have their own planners, and they plan. They write everything down that they spend the money on each week, and then they go over it each week. Do you think that's a good way of saving money as well?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Looking over your financial costs.
Because they know what they're spending that money on, and like we said before, we don't know what we're spending it on when we go out. Like me and Bilal said, we go out to our mates, we go out to bowling, just to go chill in general, and we don't realise where that money's gone, and then when we come back and then we realise where that money's gone, we don't appreciate it, and we kind of think, oh, where's this money gone? And that's how we lose out on a lot of money.
I think one important thing is that everyone needs to remember is the way you get your income, the way you get money. It's a big thing, because at the end of the day, it's like now say you rob someone, you might have heard this where people say when you rob someone, for example, your money is going to come out from somewhere else. It's like now some people might say to you, treat others how you want to be treated. So if someone's talking to you nicely, if someone's talking to you rudely, think to yourself, if that person, whoever that person is, think that person just think to themselves, would they like it if that person spoke to them rudely? It's in the same way, if you got robbed, would you like if you robbed someone, sorry, and then you got robbed, you won't like it. In the same way, you'll be furious, you'll be angry. So why would you go to those steps? It's like now, selling drugs, you're selling drugs knowing to cause harm to the person. Yeah, you'll have a buzz for a bit, but you're affecting your health, and you knowing that a person's going to affect their health, it's inhumane. It's on you. Personally, I'd have it on my conscience thinking, you know what, that guy's going to be affected by it, and I'm selling him it, and I'm supporting him with it, and deep down, I'm not going to feel good. And I think people need to realise what they're doing, and that think more like, would they like if this happened to them or one of their family members?
You said.
Yeah, there was that one case in, not recently, a couple of years ago, where, one person took some, drugs, and it was laced with a different type of substance, and it was laced with something more powerful and, a lot more potent, and, that person took it expecting that it was something else, and, what happened was, that person actually died, and when taking that drug, obviously he didn't think that that's what's gonna happen. He thought, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna get a buzz out of it, and then I'm gonna do what he's gonna do. But what happened instead was he passed away, and that's where some people don't realize the state that you die in is the state that you're gonna end up being resurrected in.
Yeah.
And you know, say if you're a really stingy person and say, you know, you say die, for example, you know, denying someone of, you know, some of your wealth, or you know, from you giving money to a charity or someone that you care about, you know, that's the state that you're gonna be resurrected in. And
Yeah.
you really want to go in front of your maker and, you know, be you know, stingy or be so inconsiderate. You wouldn't, because you know, that's a really big thing, and I don't think anyone would want to go, you know, in that state.
Yeah, like definitely we were saying before, that it becomes like haram wealth, haram money, haram earnings. Obviously, you're not going to be happy in life, are you?
No, you won't.
Because the money that you're making it's not good money. You're not going to be
it's not.
happy. You want to be stingy. You want to keep it all. You want to spend it. Obviously, do you think, we were talking about employment before as well and jobs? Do you think that youth nowadays should, you know, a lot of youth nowadays that, like I said, making their own money. Obviously, there's like illegal ways we were talking about, but also legal ways like setting up their own businesses, you know, from a young age. What do you think about, you know, business? And
I think that's really good to get into from a young age, because then you understand the importance of money and how it's made and how hard it is to make that. But I think a big thing is that parents and schools, they really need to try and get kids into this system a lot earlier, so they can understand the business world, because that's where they're going to make the most money and that's how they're going to be happy.
do you think that business study should be like a compulsory subject in schools?
No, I don't think it should be compulsory at all. You got to remember, saving isn't a hard thing at the end of the day. People who say they're shopaholics, personally I'd say to them, you need to get a life, mate, because it's nothing you can control. It's not like it's a drug or something that you can't control. You need to look at your means, and even if it means looking at porn, it's like looking at, for example, like now you fast in Ramadan. What do you remember? What do you think of when you're fasting? You think, I'm hungry. You think, oh, I wonder how. And people think, you see on TV, see all these appeals, all the poor people, and you think, oh, you know what, I'm hungry, I'm starving. They've got it for so many years, so they've starved for so many days, so many months, so many years, and it's like, it makes you think that, oh, the fortunate position that you're in, and you realise that, yeah, I'm in a fortunate position, and that you should be grateful and not take things for granted.
Link it to Ramadan, like you just said, Ramadan just gone by. Do you think that saving money in Ramadan would be a good idea as well? For example, the dinner money your parents give you a week. Do you think that would be good?
It depends if your parent gives you dinner money, because like that, if I said to Mum, oh, I'm going for lunch, like, wait, you're fasting, mate, so I can't. So that won't work with me. But yeah, I think it's a clever idea. It's a good idea, in fact. And you can save it, and you got to remember, at the end of the day, you don't have to save. You can even give that money to charity, and it's a good thing. In Ramadan, you're giving charity, it's a good thing. Instead of you having that, why do you give it to charity? Give it to charity for someone to have.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even if you're not helping yourself, you can always help someone else. And you know, if you know that, you know, that money is going to be sitting there, say, you know, there might be a later date where you might need it, but you know, say for the moment you don't need it, you don't need to use it on anything. you should try to help someone else, because definitely, you know, they need it. You don't need to use it right now, so you should definitely help someone else.
Yeah, I think definitely, like you were saying before, how we should be taught about how to save. I don't think it's been taught how to save money. I think it's been taught how to invest it wisely, so you know that you can grow that money. Like putting £10 in, you're not going to have £10 in 5 years. It'll turn into like 20 quid, 30 quid. You just invest it and you keep saving. And I think, like Dawood was saying, what were you saying, Dawood?
No, I was saying that basically, you know, if that money sits there, like, and it's not used, like, you should definitely go and help someone else use that money, because you know, you're not using that money, so you should definitely help someone else who's less fortunate than yourself. And you know, if your money does help that person, you'll be getting blessings for, first of all, helping that person, and then whatever that person does with that money, you'll be getting blessings for that as well. And you know, you're gonna need everything that you can. You're gonna need everything that you can have at the end of the day when you go up and you pass away.
Yeah, it's like now, for example, you can give charity for your people, like for your parents. Like now, say if some people's parents have passed away, or their granddads have passed away, or grandparents, for example, they can give they can give money in their name, and they'll have, they'll get the reward, they'll get that stuff, and it's good at the end of the day. Like now, it's like now, say my parents passed away, and I've given charity for them, and they've been told, and said they didn't have enough good reward to go to paradise, for example, and then being told that, oh, your son's given charity, and because of that reward, it's allowed you to get to paradise. They'll be really proud of you. They'll be really very proud. And when you die and you find out that day that charity you gave helped your parents, it'll be such a good feeling. And that on that day you'll realise that, oh, how much of a help you are. And parents need to instill that in the kids. That I'm not saying force say you're gonna give charity in my name when I die. It's not. It's you got to create that love and relationship with your parent, with your child, that they're gonna think, you know what, my dad's passed away.
I should do something good in his name.
And like now, some people you hear them going for doing Umrah for them, Hajj for them, and I think it's important that you need to remember that there's many ways with money that can benefit people. You don't have to always benefit yourself. You don't have to go and buy your designer clothes. Yeah, you want to look good, you want to look smart, you want to do everything nice, but you got to remember that there's other things that need to be taken into consideration. And I think it's a good thing. And now people say that. When you give money to charity, you've not lost money, you've gained money. At the end of the day, you'll get more money from somewhere. Allah will reward you for that good deed. But you got to remember about your intention behind it. You can't think
that people spend a lot of money on like clothes and stuff. And Eid, obviously, everyone gets their money out and wastes all that money on Eid. Do you think that people should waste so much money on Eid, like just for a day?
Personally, I think Eid, Islamically, the two festivals we have in Islam are Eid, the two Eids, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. And I think, you know what, it's a time to have fun. And Islamically, the two celebrations you can have, the two festivals you've got. So why do you take it to the extreme? When I mean by extreme, I don't mean by coming in, doing the next level dance on the street, blocking the roads and stuff. Because you got to set an example. You got to set an example as a Muslim, and that you got to be careful how you present yourself. And I agree with the, like spending on expensive clothes, but there's a limit sometimes. For example, spending your means.
To add to it?
Yeah, I think it's important that we taught how fortunate we are to how much money we have, and that we've got food on our table and we've got clothes to wear. Because if we're taught that from a younger age, and if we're taught that in schools how fortunate we are, then I think it increases the likelihood that we will actually give to charity and we have to give to other people. Because
spend our money in a better way.
Yeah,
definitely. Do you have anything to add, Dawood?
No, like, you know, personally, like, so I'm always saying, you know, like what he was saying was that, you know, like me personally, whenever I have money laying around, or like, you know, whatever, if I've saved money, I say if my friends need it, you know, for something, you know, and they're a bit short and stuff, I'll help them, because, you know, that's something that I want to do. I want to help my friend out. You know, I don't want to see him in a bad situation, or, you know, I don't want to see him in that way, because, you know, you just want to help them. Genuinely, you just do want to help them, because, you know, if you have enough love and enough, you know, affection for that person, if you have that loyalty to that person, you know, money is a really big thing, and people don't realize that money is a really big thing. And for someone to part with it, you know, people say that money is the root to all evil, and, you know, for you to part with it, like, money has such a big desire to it, and for you to let it go, for you to pass it on to someone else is a really big thing, and you should be proud of that. And, you know, that's why I'm quite happy, you know, when my mates or friends or need, you know, money or something for something, I happily give it, because, you know, they need it. I can give it.
Yeah, coming to a conclusion, you were saying that about at the start we were talking about, does money buy happiness? And everything we've discussed today, have your views changed about it? Do you think that money still does buy happiness?
It doesn't.
Yeah,
up to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Definitely.
50,
but I think one thing that everyone needs to know, that, like, just quickly point before that, is that the money that you got to spend in your means. Don't make your parents, don't think that this show means that, oh yeah, I've just said you should get expensive clothes. I don't mean go get a Cartier watch and come out with like a really expensive watch, be like, Mum, I need to get this watch because someone said on TV that we need to spend on expensive, you need to buy expensive stuff. You're spending your means. Obviously, splash out, but don't splash out to an extreme. Have fun.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, so thank you for, you know, discussing the topic of money today. Unfortunately, viewers, we've come to the end of the show. We'll see you back next Sunday at 4:30 till 5:30 on IQRA TV. We hope you enjoyed today's topic, and stay tuned. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.